A clean home is a calm home. But for me, that calm never lasted more than a few minutes, one dirty dish or a spilled snack, and suddenly my kitchen felt like a battlefield. Some days I felt on duty 24/7, crumbs on the counter, sticky spots on the floor, and the endless shuffle of dishes. I kept cleaning, wiping, and loading the dishwasher, yet the mess always returned. Then it hit me. The kitchen isn't messy because we're lazy. It's messy because there's no system. Miss one small habit and chaos spreads like dominoes. In this video, I'll share 15 practical tips that transformed my kitchen. These aren't just theoretical hacks. I've applied each one in a real busy kitchen, with multiple meals every day, limited time, and a toddler underfoot. By the end, you'll see how just a few small changes can completely shift the energy in your kitchen and make cooking and cleanup almost effortless. Let's get started because your kitchen deserves a system that works, not stress that never ends. First, let me be honest with you. Some evenings, my kitchen didn't feel like a room. It felt like static. The island was the worst. Pots, lunchboxes, school papers, snack bags, all piled up like every object had decided to meet there and never leave. I'd walk in, look at that one spot, and feel my brain just stall because there wasn't a single calm place for my eyes to rest. So I stopped trying to fix the whole kitchen in one go and gave myself one tiny rule: there must always be at least one clear surface. That's it. Not a perfect house, just one calm, predictable spot. It might be the island, a corner of the table, or the coffee counter, whatever you see first when you step in. That place isn't really about cleanliness. It's about having one quiet corner in a loud room. Every morning and every evening, I spend 5-10 minutes on that surface. I scoop up random things into a small Later basket, put a few items back where they belong, and give it a quick wipe. In my house, the island is non-negotiable. Some nights the sink is still full and crumbs are still on the floor, but the island is clear. The next morning when I walk in and see that one calm patch, the kitchen doesn't feel like it's attacking me. It feels like I still have one part of it on my side. That one clear surface doesn't magically solve clutter, but it gives your mind a landing spot instead of a wall of noise. Once you have that one clear surface, it becomes easier to see how the rest of the kitchen could work. And that's when mapping out simple zones for cooking, eating, and temporary items really starts to make sense. And if you've ever looked at one tidy corner and quietly wished, I wish the whole house could feel this light, then the next video is something you don't want to miss. I'll be sharing simple organizing tricks you can do even when the house isn't clean, your schedule isn't free, and you don't feel ready, but they still make your space look noticeably more put together. There was a period where our kitchen felt like a tiny battlefield, and the cups were the enemy soldiers. I put it right there. Well, I can't see it. Same script, different object over and over again. Nobody was trying to be difficult. We just didn't share the same map of the room. In my head, the kids' cups lived near the sink. In my husband's head, they lived in the upper cupboard. The kids put things wherever there was a gap. Of course, everyone was frustrated. We were all playing a guessing game every single day. I eventually realized we didn't need a complicated system. We needed a tired, people-friendly one. So I divided the kitchen into 3 big zones instead of dozens of tiny rules. One cooking zone, pots, pans, cooking tools, oil, spices. One eating, drinking zone, plates, bowls, cups, water bottles, lunch boxes. And one temporary zone, a basket or tray for mail, school forms, and all the I'll deal with this later bits that used to live on the counter. To make it obvious, I taped simple paper labels where we needed them. Cook, eat, drink, temporary. Nothing Instagram worthy, but it worked. My husband no longer has to guess which shelf the bottle belongs on. He just knows it goes in the eating or drinking area. My daughter doesn't spread school papers all over the island anymore. She drops them in the temporary basket. By the end of the day, if that temporary basket is overflowing, it's not proof that I've failed. It's simply a signal time for a 10 to 15 minute sort and decide session. I sit down, sign what needs signing, throw out what doesn't, and give important things a proper home. The arguments calm down, the guessing eases, and the kitchen feels less like a war zone. And once the where is clearer, you notice a deeper issue. Even with better zones, sometimes there's just too much stuff trying to live in them. The day a drawer tried to escape was the day I knew something had to change. I pulled it open and it behaved like an overstuffed suitcase. Things lifted, shifted, and something nearly jumped out. Inside were 6 similar spatulas tools I'd forgotten buying and gadgets I might use one day, but never did. In that moment, it was obvious I didn't have an organizing problem. I had a capacity problem. The kitchen didn't need more containers, more dividers, more tricks. It needed a door policy. If something new wanted to come in, something else had to leave. So that's what I did. New pan 1, older scratched pan goes, a cute mug, and then a mug I don't actually choose has to leave the shelf, a fun gadget, then one maybe someday item finally moves on. Before anything comes into the house, I ask, where will this live? And what am I willing to let go so it can live here? If I'm not willing to trade anything out, it doesn't belong enough to earn a place. With my daughter, I keep the same idea, just gentler. She loves adorable water bottles. Instead of saying no to everything, our rule is, if she really wants a new one, she picks an old one to give away or recycle. We decide that at home, in front of our own shelf, not in the middle of the store. Sometimes she finds one she doesn't like anymore. Sometimes she looks at them all and says, I think I'm fine. I like these. That one in, one out rule doesn't make the kitchen perfect, but it stops the quiet, creeping growth that makes every drawer and shelf feel heavier over time. Your zones don't swell out of control. Your cabinets stop groaning every time you open them. And with the sheer amount of stuff finally capped, you can turn to places where decisions tend to pile up in a different way, like the fridge. For a long time, opening my fridge felt like opening an inbox full of emails I didn't want to read. Old containers, limp vegetables in the corner, mysterious leftovers I no longer trusted. Cleaning it out wasn't satisfying. It felt like facing a list of small decisions I'd avoided. So I stopped seeing the fridge as cold storage and started treating it like a visual plan for how we eat. I gave each shelf a clear job. The top shelf became the morning shelf, milk, yogurt, butter spreads, eggs, the things we grab when we're half awake. The middle shelves turned into the cook soon area, meat, fish, chopped vegetables, sauces, anything that should become a meal in the next few days. The lowest shelf became the kids' shelf, washed fruit. Simple snacks, drinks they're allowed to take without asking. Then I carved out a small corner and labeled it very honestly, Eat Soon. Every leftover container goes there, not floating around. When I stand in front of the fridge, wondering, what are we eating today? I check that spot first. The rice from yesterday, half a piece of chicken, some roasted vegetables, those become fried rice, a quick bowl, or an easy side. They get used while they're still food, not when they've become regretful. When I'm already standing in the kitchen waiting for water to boil, for the oven to preheat, for a pan to warm up, I give myself one tiny fridge job, wipe one sticky patch. Just one. The milk ring, the sauce drip, the obvious crumb corner. It's never perfectly spotless, but it also never reaches the point where I need a full afternoon and a lot of courage to deal with it. With those simple fridge zones, it stops being a place that silently accuses you every time you open the door. It starts telling you gently what you actually have and what needs attention. And once the fridge is on your side, you can look across at the pantry and tackle not just where things sit, but how they even get into your house in the first place. Next, my pantry used to sing backup for every supermarket promotion. If something was cheap, long-lasting, or looked interesting, it somehow ended up in my cart. A box here, a packet there, just in case. After a while, opening that cupboard didn't feel comforting. It felt like looking at all my half-thought-through decisions in one place. What finally changed things was deciding that the pantry needed a job. It had to reflect our real routine and steer my shopping, not mirror every discount sign. So I stopped grouping food by type and started grouping it by when we actually use it, One shelf became the morning shelf cereal, oats, spreads, honey bread. Another became the snack shelf, cookies, chips, nuts, treats. A third became the cooking base shelf, pasta, rice, noodles, sauces, spices, cans, the building blocks of meals. Now, before I buy anything, I picture the exact shelf it would live on and ask, is there space there? Not can I shove it somewhere, but does that specific shelf have room if the breakfast shelf is already crowded with half-open cereal and 3 kinds of spreads? A new flavor doesn't go into the cart no matter how tempting. We finish what we have first. If the cooking shelf is already lined with pasta, I walk past the next family-size deal. One afternoon, our snack shelf was packed from back to front. My husband walked in with another big bag because it was such a good price. I didn't launch into a lecture. I just opened the pantry and pointed. If we can find a real spot for it here, we'll keep it. If not, we wait. He looked at the shelf, then at the bag, and quietly put it down. The biggest surprise was how much calmer shopping and meal planning became. Before going to the store, I take a quick look. The breakfast shelf tells me if we're almost out of cereal. The cooking shelf tells me if we really need rice or sauce. The snack shelf tells me if lunchboxes are covered for the week. I'm not guessing anymore. I'm topping up gaps. And that's when the kitchen slowly shifts. It stops feeling like a place where stuff and food appear without a plan and starts feeling like a space that supports how your family actually lives, eats, and moves through the day without you having to turn into a full-time housekeeper to keep up with it. There's a certain kind of clutter that doesn't come from mess, but from the way a kitchen is arranged. I noticed this one evening when the sink wasn't particularly full, the counters weren't dirty yet. I kept walking in circles trying to figure out where to start. Everything I needed for cleanup was too spread out, sponges in one drawer, trash bags on the opposite side, dish soap tucked behind random items. I wasn't procrastinating. I was navigating inefficiency. So I redesigned the flow. I created a clear cleanup lane starting at the sink, all washing tools together, trash and recycling within a single pivot, drying towels hanging exactly where my hands naturally reached. Suddenly, cleanup wasn't a task. It was a sequence. Even friends helping out could follow it without asking. Some people solve this with a portable caddy, others by placing a small compost bowl on the counter during prep, and many swear by keeping anything washing related within arm's reach of the faucet. The specific layout matters less than the continuity. Once that flow is in place, maintenance feels surprisingly automatic, and that's where tiny, almost invisible daily habits come into play. Some kitchens stay consistently calm, not because the owners constantly clean, but because tiny actions happen as part of their natural movement. I first noticed this when visiting a friend. Every time she finished using something, she'd give the counter a small swipe shift, a cup toward the sink, or close a cabinet without thinking. None of it felt like cleaning, yet her kitchen never spiraled. I began adopting the same mindset. Whenever I stepped into the kitchen, I'd fix one tiny thing, toss a wrapper, return a utensil to its section, and straighten the dish towel. 3-second resets that didn't break my flow. Over time, they blended into instinct. Different homes have different patterns. Some people rinse dishes immediately, others always clear the sink before cooking some treat wipe as you go as second nature. What they share is consistency, not effort. And when those micro routines are established, the next challenge becomes the clutter that has no clear home. There's a type of clutter that doesn't come from overbuying or being messy. It comes from hesitation. The items you haven't fully committed to, the ingredient you bought for a single recipe, the gadget you're not sure if you'll use, the snack that doesn't fit your usual categories. These things drift because they don't have a home yet. And the moment one drifts, it quietly gives permission for others to join it. That's when a calm kitchen starts feeling noisy again. I eventually realized the real problem wasn't the items themselves, it was the lack of a temporary destination. I didn't need to decide immediately. I just needed a place for things awaiting a decision. That's where the landing zone was born. For me, it's a medium basket placed right beside the pantry. Simple, visible, contained. Any item that doesn't have a clear home or that I'm not ready to assign a home to goes there, not shoved away, not left out. Just gently placed into this holding spot. Here's what makes it special. It's temporary, not permanent. It collects uncertainty into one small space instead of letting uncertainty spread across every counter. It limits itself. When the basket is full, it's time to review. Once a week, I give it a 2-minute check. Most items get used up, stored correctly, or donated. A few surprise me. I realize I never needed them in the first place. Some people use a shallow tray, a cabinet bin, or a narrow shelf. The object doesn't matter, the boundary does. And once the floaters have a home, even a temporary one, the rest of the kitchen becomes dramatically easier to organize. You've removed the mental static. You've created clarity where hesitation used to live. There's a moment in every kitchen task where your hands hesitate, not because you don't know what to do, but because things aren't where your body expects them. Spoon not by the stove. Scissors missing from the wraps. Small delays repeated hundreds of times make a kitchen feel tiring even when it looks tidy. The problem wasn't clutter, it was the path my hands had to travel. So instead of fixed zones, I observed patterns: which items I reach for together, which are used most often, and which interrupt flow when out of place. I grouped tools by use, not by category: scissors next to foil tasting spoons by the stove, rubber bands with wraps. Daily essentials went to no-look spots, easy to grab without thinking. Nothing fancy, nothing aesthetic, just practical. Tasks flowed better, the kitchen felt lighter, and cleaning became easier. Once that basic flow was in place, the next step was obvious. Make sure the items I use all the time don't even need a second thought. That's when I created ultra accessible essentials. Some tools are used so frequently that traditional storage creates unnecessary work. I kept putting away the same knife cutting board, salt, oil, and pan multiple times a day, and they always ended up back on the counter. I wasn't messy. I was fighting my own routine. So I made the most used items intentionally visible and reachable. The pan stays on the stovetop. The cutting board slides vertically into a nearby slot. The salt and oil sit on a small tray beside the burner, and my main knife hangs on a magnetic strip. Not clutter, just optimized access. This single shift made cooking feel lighter. The kitchen stopped punishing me for putting things away properly and started supporting how I naturally moved. Once daily tools are simplified, you can finally shift toward curating the items you rarely touch. The next layer of calm. Waiting for a perfect, uninterrupted block of time to clean rarely happens. I learned to do small tasks while doing something else, rinse a knife while waiting for water to boil, tidy containers during a child's story, wipe a counter while preheating the oven. These micro actions reduce the overall daily workload. Over time, even a messy-looking kitchen feels manageable because much of the work is done in increments. This principle helps tackle small but frequent sources of clutter like trash and plastic bags, which leads to tip 12. It's easy to overlook, but trash and plastic bags are often quiet culprits in kitchen clutter. I used to toss plastic bags into whatever drawer had space. The trash bin overflowed more often than I'd like to admit, and every time I emptied it, I'd sigh at the sticky floor beneath or the bag scraps shoved in the corner. One day I realized this wasn't about mess. It was about the lack of a system. So I gave these invisible items a home. I designated a single box under the sink, just for plastic bags, nothing else. I lined it with a small container to keep them folded neatly. Then I made a rule: every time I emptied the trash, I'd take 30 seconds to wipe down the bin area and check the bag supply. That small habit changed everything. No more scrambling to find a clean bag, no more mystery spills under the sink. And because that corner stayed clean, it made the rest of the kitchen feel more intentional, even without fancy bins or matching organizers. Systems don't have to be beautiful, they just have to work. And once trash and bags are handled, the next challenge becomes what you bring into the kitchen and how you shop in a way that supports calm, not clutter. I used to come home from the store and realize I had just rebought things I already had. Crackers, canned beans, 3 more bags of rice. Meanwhile, we were out of yogurt again. The missing link, a shared visible shopping list. Now we keep a small notepad in the kitchen right near the pantry. Whenever someone notices something's low, it goes on the list immediately. No mental load, no guessing at the store. Before heading out, we check the list and cross-reference the pantry or fridge. It's a tiny habit, but it's changed our food flow. Fewer duplicate purchases, less expired food hiding in the back, and surprisingly, fewer impulse snacks because we shop with intention. Even my daughter joined in. If her favorite yogurt runs out, she adds it herself. It becomes a shared system, not just mom's job. This small practice reduces waste and gives structure to kitchen inventory. And with that foundation, you're ready for a gentle, ongoing rhythm to keep everything in check, one area at a time. Instead of waiting for the entire kitchen to fall apart and then dreading a deep clean, I started doing gentle weekly resets. Just 30 to 45 minutes focused on one small zone. Week 1, the fridge. Toss expired items, wipe shelves, resort containers. Week 2, pantry. Check dates, group like items move old snacks forward. Week 3, under sink area. Refill bags, wipe spills, toss forgotten products. Week 4, drawers. Reassess what tools are actually used. It doesn't have to be fancy or even perfect. The point is rhythm, not results. After just 1 month, the kitchen feels noticeably lighter. And because the zones repeat, no area ever reaches chaos. It's maintenance through rotation, not pressure. This also builds confidence. You stop feeling like you're constantly behind and start feeling like the kitchen is something you know how to handle. And once this cycle feels steady, there's only one more piece left, choosing a few habits that truly match your life right now. Trying to adopt 15 new kitchen habits at once. That's a fast track to burnout. Real change begins with choosing just 1 or 2 things that truly suit the life you're living right now, not the one you wish you had. For me, during a particularly busy season, I let go of perfection. I focused only on 2 things. Keep 1 counter clear. Don't leave dirty dishes in the sink overnight. That's it. No resets, no organizing, just those 2 anchors. And honestly, it helped. Those 2 habits made mornings calmer and gave me a tiny sense of control in the chaos. Later, when things settled, I naturally added back the evening reset, then the drawer decluttering, then the shopping list. This approach honors your bandwidth. It gives you wins without pressure, and it proves the kitchen doesn't have to be perfect to support you. Start with what works today. Let the rest wait. Because the right habits, even small ones, build kitchens that feel steady, calm, and livable. That's how I turned my kitchen from a place that stressed me out into a calm, organized space where every item has its spot. You don't need to overhaul the whole kitchen in a day. Just start with 1 small habit, 1 cleaner corner, and you're already making a difference. If you want cooking to feel less chaotic and your kitchen to stop weighing on your mind, try taking it step by step at your own pace. Every tiny action adds up, and you'll start noticing the change. And don't miss the next video. I'll share clever, practical hacks to declutter and organize your entire home, transforming even the messiest corners into spaces that feel peaceful and intentionally designed. You'll want to watch it right away, because skipping it would be a regret you'll wish you hadn't. If this video helped hit like share it with friends, and subscribe so you won't miss the next tips that make your kitchen and your whole home feel lighter, calmer, and more enjoyable every day.